Hey, what up guys? Welcome back to the fish room. So in today's video, I think I'm going to go over the best beginner fish. So if you like these type of videos, make sure you subscribe, leave a like, and stick around because I have a whole bunch more videos coming out. So for the number one fish on my list, it's gotta be the neon tetra. So I think the way I'm going to do this is I'm just going to show you guys some pictures on my computer so you can get a gist of what the fish look like. And then we'll talk about the fish a little bit. So first off, we have the neon tetra. You can find this fish pretty much at every single pet store. So these are just black neon tetras here. But the neon tetra is very hardy, and I seem to find them at every pet store I go into, and they're absolutely a classic fish in the hobby. If you're just starting up a tank, I definitely recommend neon tetras. Number two, I also have in this tank, which is these sort of brown and black guys. They're called Harlequin rasbora, and they are absolutely one of my favorites. They also go by pork chop rasbora. If you look here at the pictures on Google, it's pretty much a very small, peaceful schooling fish, but I really like them. If you've never had them before, they just school around your tank and they're very peaceful, and they actually get pretty big. These ones here are all adults. I've had them for quite a bit, and they actually get a nice purple bluish tone to them once they hit the light just right, and they're very beautiful. They also have a lot of red on their tail along with the red eyeball. You can kind of see the blue and purples off of them. All right, number three has got to be a Corydoras, and it's got to be the Emerald Corydoras. These guys have got to be one of the most hardy fish you can find, and they're pretty much at every single pet store you will walk into. If they have Corydoras at all, they will definitely have Emerald Corydoras. Now, this goes along with the albinos, but I kind of find that the albinos are a bit weaker than the Emerald Corydoras, in my opinion. So, the Emerald Corydoras is just sort of a little green or black catfish that sits on the bottom. And I also have one here in this tank. I have a couple Corydoras in this tank. You can see him in the back there. But the Emerald Corydoras has to be one of the hardiest Corydoras. If you guys try Panda Corydoras, Salt and Pepper Corydoras, or False Julii, any of the other Corydoras, you're gonna find that they're pretty weak fish. Buy a whole school and you might only have one or two or three left over. So I find when I buy Emerald Corydoras, a lot more of them live and a lot more of them are hardier. So that has got to be number three. So number four has to go to the White Cloud Minnow. Now this fish, you can find it pretty much everywhere. You'll find it at Petco, at many pet stores. They're usually put along with goldfish, but they're called the White Cloud Minnow. Usually I only find them in the gold variant. I've never actually found the original White Cloud, but the ones I have are the gold White Clouds. I've had them in my tank for years now, and that's these guys right here. They are just a minnow, so they are very peaceful. They're not very aggressive at all, and the males and females are very easy to tell apart. If you see this dark guy right here, he's a male, and then all these lighter color ones are females. But the White Clouds are really perfect for planted tanks. They don't eat plants, and they get along with pretty much any fish in there. All right, number five is kind of a weird one, but they always have a spot in my heart, which is just the black skirt tetra or the white skirt tetra. These guys are just one of my favorites. I mean, you just can't go wrong with these tetras. They are super peaceful. Sometimes they bicker amongst themselves, but I've never really seen them get beat up too bad. They usually just chase each other around, and then they get along usually after that. But these get quite big, and they're very peaceful. So in a nice large planted aquarium, these fish are perfect. Even if you put them in a large community tank, they do really well with other fish. Just watch out because they do have longer fins. They can get fin nipped by other fish. So just watch out for that if you do pick the lawn skirt. So this fish is the last one on my list. This is number 6. And I have a whole bunch of these in my fish room. And this one's got to be the bristlenose pleco. Now this one here is a fantastic example. They call it a bristlenose because males get a bunch of bristles on their nose, almost like a beard or a mustache. So this is my big albino male. And here's the female here. So I have an albino male and an albino female in this tank. And they breed all the time and lay eggs for me. Unlike other plecos that sort of eat wood and don't really care for algae, they will pretty much clean your tank all day long. But I wanted to cover some fish that you should not buy. So I covered a couple fish that you should buy, but let's cover the ones that you absolutely should not buy. Starting off at number 1 is a common pleco. Now, we just talked about the bristlenose pleco, which stays very small. Now, the common pleco is the exact opposite. Common pleco is the one that you want to watch out for, stick away from at all costs. All right, next on my list to watch out for, this one is probably going to surprise you, is the tiger barb. Now, I'm going to say something very specific about these fish because I've bred them in the past and I've had tanks with them in the past. And what I recommend is doing a fish-only tank. So when you do tiger barbs, it is definitely best to just keep them in a school by themselves. And honestly, I think it's a lot more fun that way because they terrorize any other fish in the tank. Eventually, there's no fish left. And these guys are the silent killers. I call them little piranha because they will just silently kill off every fish in your fish tank. So the last fish on my list to stay away from has got to be the common goldfish. Now, these fish are just everywhere. You can find them at every single pet store. Hundreds upon hundreds of them will be in a fish tank. And I just got to say, they're 25 cents to 50 cents for one goldfish. But at the end of the day, these fish get absolutely massive and they get huge and they will outgrow any fish tank that you give them. But basically, the gist of it is they're really dirty and they get really big. So I definitely recommend staying far away from goldfish. New to my channel, I have a whole bunch of videos on my fish here, like Slippy the clown knife, or my Oscar named Sheriff, or even my angelfish named Pearl. Check out all my other videos if you're interested. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good day. Peace.